Hi everyone, it's Karen here and welcome back to my channel. I just came back from Creativation last week and people are coming back from Creative World, and I'm sure everybody is just not confused but kind of like not knowing what products to buy, how to decide what products to buy after these huge trade shows, because there's so many products out there in the market, and truthfully it's so hard to decide what you want to buy, what you want to buy now, what you want to buy later, or what you want to buy at all. So I have some tips that I think are helpful for that, not only for right after trade shows, but also throughout the year to help you kind of budget and figure out how to buy products throughout the year, especially now because it's so hard. There's so many products out there. So I have a bunch of tips for you and I hope you like them. And if there's any tips that I didn't mention, feel free to mention them in the comment area. Some of these tips actually are from some of my subscribers that commented, so it's really good and I am excited to share those with you. So the first tip was actually first suggested by Teresa, and then a few other people actually mentioned the same thing, that they do the same thing as well. And what it is to make a list of all the products you actually want. A big list, put them in a journal or in a book or some kind of place, and make sure that you list them first from most wanted to least wanted. Even if it's a second list, start with just making a list. As you see the products coming through, just make a list and then you can put them in most wanted from the top to bottom. But make sure you leave space in between each product. That's a really important key, because that leads me to tip number 2, which is to actually write notes beside each product or products what type of projects you're thinking of doing. It doesn't have to be full projects, but just project ideas. And that will help you decide on which product you think you're going to be using most. And those products that you're using most are probably the ones that you're going to want to buy. So the ones that have more project ideas are the ones that are going to be more likely that you're going to be using more often and therefore more worth your buy. Tip number 3, and it relates to the one before, is that if you don't have your own ideas at the moment, you can go watch some people doing videos or project ideas on their blogs and then decide if those are the projects you want. So you can actually put notes beside each product and write a project idea, and just beside it even put who inspired you. So if you want to go back to that person and see the project once you get the product, you know to refer to the person. Otherwise you will probably not remember where you got the idea from, and that will be confusing to start searching for that. But it doesn't have to be your own idea, but it's just something that you want to do. So if you want to make cards, make sure you check out a few different card makers that are creating with those products. So that way you can see if that's something that you want to do. Tip number 4 is that remember release dates and check them out on the websites, because you might want a lot of things, but not everything gets released around the same time. So that, I guess, helps you both ways. If you really, really want a product, then that's not the best thing if it's coming out later, like in March or April. Most of them are come out in February for right after the trade shows. But for those that want to kind of spread out their buys, that's a perfect way to do. Another tip, I think this is tip number 5, is make a list of all the products that you haven't actually used for a long time. And the reason why I say that, because trends come back. So make sure you already have something very similar in your stash that you can use instead of something that is out there that is new. Maybe from another brand or another or something similar, like, like a stamp or some kind of product that might be very similar to one you actually want. So even if there's something you have used and you love, make sure that it doesn't match something you already want to buy, because that's really important. If you already have something similar, no point buying it. You might as well save your money for something that you really, really want. Another tip, and that helps also, for me, that helps to donate old products or sell them. I usually just donate them, but you can sell them as well. If you sell them, then you can use the money to buy yourself new products. But I feel good donating them to either old age homes or schools, teachers, or my friends. I end up giving them to my friends. So that's really good, because then you're kind of purging what you have so you can make room for other stuff. The next tip is basically buying things that are in your genre, in your niche. And why I say that, it's really important because we kind of, as artists and crafters, we want to basically buy all the things that we like. But truthfully, we only use the stuff that is in our genre. For example, card makers want to buy stamps and dies and inks and markers, but people in mixed media and art journaling, they'll want to buy sprays and stencils and so forth. And then you can mix and match as well a little bit, but I really suggest to staying within that, because truthfully, if you look at the products you use the most, and that's something to look back and see what kind of products you use the most. And if you use a lot of the same products, the same type of products, whether it's tools or stamps or sprays, those are the ones that you're most likely going to use even more. So make sure you stay within that niche. I mean, it's not like you have to and it's mandatory, but you will find it that you will save more money by doing that. Another tip is, truthfully, don't stress if you can't buy everything. Somebody commented that they actually wait 6 months before they buy anything. So they make a list, and then afterwards they wait 6 months. If stuff comes out in January, they wait until July. And if there's something that they thought of, like they put like the project ideas beside it, and if there's something that they actually felt that they are going to use no matter what, then they buy it. But most of the time, the high wore off, and then they don't end up buying most of those products, which is a great tip, although I can't really wait that long. But it's a great tip if you want to budget your stuff. Another tip is save your buys for later, is to spread out the buys. So that makes it more fun, because if you're buying everything now, you're probably going to be overwhelmed with so many different products. It's much better to spread them out. So besides the release dates that things come out in different times, like February, March, April, you can also spread those out even longer by waiting. And that will help you have fun throughout the year and not have to feel bad that you bought so many products and you're not using them right away, because there's so many of them. I mean, we are creators, but we can't create so fast and so much at the same time. So it's really good to spread those out. So if you have like your top products and then your middle and then your low, like the ones that you want the least, leave those for later on. Don't forget, more releases come out throughout the year. So those products, you might either change your mind, or if you do decide to buy them in like May or June, at least you have more fun creating in those times as well, and the high doesn't wear off. And the other one is like, I mean, it's truly like just relax and have fun. You don't really need everything. It's hard to hear that because we are enabled by society. And I found it really hard to not buy certain things, even if I wasn't using them. That's why I made those videos about craft and art supplies that I wish I didn't buy, not because I didn't love them, but because I really didn't use them. And that was the idea that Tiffany Solorio gave me, and that's why I did those videos. If you haven't watched those, you can look back on my YouTube channel to see them, and I'll link them also below. But what I really want to emphasize is that we really think about it. We really don't need everything, and it's really important to make those lists, and that will help you feel better when you're sitting down and creating and you're not overwhelmed with all the amount of products that you have. Another thing is, remember that you have old product. So one person suggested that she got an idea from Rachel O, where you can make a box and put little tickets with all the names of all the old products that you haven't used or that you have used. And every time you're going to sit down and create, just grab one of the tickets from the box and then create with that, and it will help you it will inspire you. I guess you could do this also with the new products, so that way it's like random and you get excited to create. But old products are great. Don't dismiss the old products, because I still use so many old products. They're not really old, they're just from a couple of years ago, and I love them just as much as anything that comes out in the market. And another thing is, when you're making lists, to make a list of what you must have and what you want. Because we want everything, but what you must have really inspires you in your creative journey. And must is in quotation marks, because we really don't need anything. We don't must have anything, but it's really important to kind of make that list, because that will help you determine what you know you're going to really use because you must have it, you need it, and the ones where you just want it, but you know what, you can wait on it. So that's an important list to do. So you can make even two lists, the one with the top products and then the one with the wants, the musts and the wants. And the last point, and this is also, I mean, it's just a general one, that if you are going to buy the products and you are going to support people, whether it is the designers that created or the people that create the free content YouTube videos like me, please support the designers as well as the digital content creators like me by supporting us by pressing our affiliate links, because that gives us a little bit more support. It encourages us to create more videos. Even now that I came out with my own stamps, then I would love for you to support me as well. So if that's something that is on your list and you want to buy, then we are very, very grateful. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to feel like I'm enabling you to buy something, but if you are deciding to buy and you made those lists and you're going to do that, then the support is really much appreciated. So thank you so much, everyone, and have an amazing day. Bye.